The stars hung still in the blackness of space when something strange happened. Near the edge of the Orion's spiral arm, a thin line of light split the darkness. It grew wider, like a door opening in the universe. From it, a single ship came out, silent, smooth, and alone. This was the HVS Endurance, a human vessel unlike any seen before. It had no markings, no flags, no loud signals. Its gray metal hull reflected the distant light of stars as it drifted forward. Sensors across the galaxy picked it up at once. The Galactic Council, made up of 7 alien species, watched in silence. No one knew where it came from or how it got there. The Endurance had no jump drive, no known propulsion system, yet it had crossed 30,000 light-years in moments. It did not respond to hails. It did not scan or move fast. It simply floated, calm and still, as if waiting. On board, Captain Lewis Grant stood on the bridge, his hands behind his back. He looked out at the stars, calm and focused. Around him, 12 crew members worked quietly at their stations. They had trained for this moment their whole lives. They were not here to fight. They were here to stop one. Far away, on a council observation platform, aliens argued. Some wanted to attack, others wanted to run. The Zarn, a warlike species, called it a threat. The Veli, wise and patient, said it might be a message. But then the Endurance opened comms. A young officer named Kyle Bennett spoke. His voice was clear, calm, and carried across all channels. "This is HVS Endurance. We come in peace. We are not here to fight, but we will not be provoked." Then the signal cut. No one moved. No ship fired, no engine flared. Fleets from 2 warring sides, Zarn and the Free Systems, stopped their battle in mid-attack. They just watched. The silence spread like a wave. Children on distant worlds looked up at the sky and whispered. Scientists checked their tools again and again. Something had changed. For the first time in over 100 years, the galaxy held its breath. And in that silence, the truth began to sink in. This was not just a ship. It was a warning. And humanity, once thought weak and divided, had arrived not with noise, but with stillness. 7 hours passed, and nothing moved. The HVS Endurance floated in space like a stone dropped into still water. Around it, hundreds of alien ships from many species formed a wide circle. Their weapons were ready, their engines humming, but no one dared to act. The silence from the human ship was heavy, like a weight pressing on everyone's mind. On the Galactic Council platform, voices rose in fear and confusion. "Why don't they speak again?" asked a Zarn commander. His scales twitched with anger. "They must be destroyed before they strike." But Dr. Lena Morrow, a scientist from the Veli race, shook her head. "No, they are watching, learning. This silence is their way of showing control." She was right. On board the Endurance, sensors ran quietly, gathering data. Commander Ellen Cross sat at her station, reading the information. "They've been at war for over a century," she said to Captain Lewis Grant. "Whole planets ruined, billions dead, and still they fight." Grant nodded. He did not look surprised. "That's why we're here." He walked to the main screen and opened a private log. Day 1. We have arrived at the right time and place. No errors. The mission begins now. Outside, the stars shone cold and bright. The Endurance did not move, but its presence changed everything. On planets far away, people stopped working, stopped fighting, and looked up. Some called it a miracle. Others feared it was the end. On one moon, children in a refugee camp pointed at the sky. "Is that a god ship?" one asked. An old teacher replied, "No, it's something better. It's hope." On board, Kyle Bennett checked the energy field around the ship. "They're testing us," he said. "Sending drones, scanning our hull, nothing hostile yet. Let them look. Let them see what we've become." The Endurance was not just a ship. It carried the history of a species that had once destroyed itself with war. Humanity had learned the hard way. Now they were not here to conquer. They were here to show another path. Another hour passed. Still, no one fired. No message came. The galaxy waited. And then, slowly, the Endurance turned. Not to attack, not to run. It moved forward, just a little, placing itself between two enemy fleets about to destroy a moon full of innocent lives. Everyone saw it. Everyone understood. This was not the start of a war. It was the start of something much bigger. Peace.
The Endurance moved slowly, like a parent stepping between two fighting children. It placed itself right in the middle of space, between the Zarn warships on one side and the Free System fleet on the other. Below them, a small moon floated, covered with domes and lights, home to millions of refugees. In minutes, both sides were ready to fire. The battle would have ended in fire and death. Then the human ship did something no one expected. A soft blue light grew from its hull. It spread fast, like a bubble, covering the moon, the fleets, even the stars behind them. When the Zarn fired their energy beams, the light bent the shots sideways. They twisted like snakes and faded into space. Missiles lost power and dropped like stones. Drones shut down. Every weapon, every attack stopped. The field held for exactly 9 minutes. Inside, silence. Outside, shock. Alien captains stared at their screens. Weapons gone, power low, but no damage, no explosion, just peace. On the Endurance, Ellen Cross watched the data. "They're scared," she said. "Good," Grant replied. "Fear can be useful, if it makes them think." Then a voice came through every ship, every station, every world in range. It was calm, clear, and spoke in all languages at once. "You have been at war for 113 years, 4 months, and 17 days, it said. In that time, you destroyed 312 worlds. You killed billions. You wasted enough energy to feed whole galaxies. This ends now." The voice was Lewis Grant's. "We are not your gods. We are not your masters. We are humans. We made the same mistakes. We burned our own world. But we learned, and we will not watch you do the same." The message ended. No one spoke. No one moved. Even the war horns stopped. On the council platform, Lena Morrow smiled. "They're not here to rule," she told the others. "They're here to help." But not everyone agreed. On a Zarn command ship, a general stood up. He growled, "They humbled us with tricks. They are weak. We must attack." He gave the order. 3 Zarn cruisers turned and flew straight at the Endurance, engines full blast, weapons charging. Grant watched them come. He did not look worried. He said, "Let them learn." The cruisers got closer. Then just as they crossed an invisible line, their ships began to fade, not explode, not break. They simply came apart. Metal, crew, light, all turned into silent streams of dust and vanished. The galaxy saw it happen, and for the first time, they understood. This was not a warship. It was a warning. and humanity was not asking for peace. They were making it happen.
The 3 Zarn cruisers vanished like smoke in the wind. One moment they were charging forward, full of rage and fire. The next, they were gone. No sound, no flash, no pieces left behind. Just empty space where they once were. Across the galaxy, every screen showed it. Every ship felt the silence that followed. No alarms, no screams, just stillness. On the council platform, Lena Morrow closed her eyes. They didn't kill them, she said. They stopped them, without hate, without violence. Others could not believe it. "How?" asked a Free System officer. "What kind of weapon takes a ship apart like that and leaves nothing?" "Not a weapon," Lena said. "Control. They changed the rules of space itself, like turning off a light." On board the Endurance, Kyle Bennett checked the logs. "They crossed the boundary field," he said. "The ship's AI detected hostile intent. It acted." Grant nodded. "We don't destroy, we prevent. That's the difference." The message was clear. The Endurance was not just strong, it was beyond war. It could end any attack before it began, and it would. On alien worlds, people began to talk. In cities, markets, and homes, they asked the same question. Why did humans come now? What do they want? The answer came soon. The Endurance sent out a signal, not a threat, not a command, a story. Petabytes of data filled every network, every screen, every mind that could read. It showed Earth's past, the wars, the bombs, the poisoned skies. It showed cities burned, oceans dry, children living underground. It showed the last war, when humans almost wiped themselves out. Then it showed the change. The peace talks. The broken weapons turned into tools. The first ships sent not with guns, but with food, medicine, and seeds. It showed humans rebuilding, not just their world, but their hearts. "We were like you," the message said. "We fought until there was nothing left to fight for. Then we chose to stop." On the refugee moon, people cried. On warships, captains turned off their weapons. Even Zarn soldiers sat in silence. Ellen Cross watched from the bridge. "They're seeing themselves in our story," she said. "Maybe now," Grant replied, "they'll choose a better path." The galaxy was quiet again, but this time it was not fear. It was thought. It was hope. The Endurance still floated in space, calm and still. It had not come to rule. It had come to show that peace was possible. And for the first time in over 100 years, the stars did not shine with fire. They shone with light. The Endurance stayed in orbit above the quiet moon. Its silver hull caught the light of a distant sun, glowing like a promise. Below, people stepped outside their domes and looked up. No alarms, no sirens, just peace. Then the ship opened its bay. A small shuttle came out, smooth and white, and began to descend. It touched down gently on the landing field. The door opened slowly. First came Captain Lewis Grant. He wore a simple gray suit, no weapons, no armor. Behind him were Commander Ellen Cross and Lieutenant Kyle Bennett. They walked forward, calm and steady, toward a group of waiting aliens, Zarn, Veli, Free System leaders, and council members. No one spoke at first. Then Dr. Lena Morrow stepped forward. "You could have destroyed us," she said. "Why didn't you?" Grant looked at the sky, then back at her. "Because we were once like you.
lost, angry, afraid. We know what comes next if no one stops. A hush fell over the crowd. Ellen held up a small device. With a touch, a huge hologram lit the sky, a map of the galaxy. Red dots marked war zones. One by one, as ships stood down and leaders talked, the red lights turned green. "We're not here to rule," Kyle said. "We're here to help, to share what we learned." On nearby planets, fleets powered down. Weapons were locked away. Peace talks began on dozens of worlds. Children played in parks again. Markets reopened. For the first time in over a century, the word tomorrow meant something good. That night, Grant stood alone, looking at the stars. Ellen joined him. "Do you think it will last?" she asked. "Not at first," he said. "They'll fight again. They'll forget. But now they know another way is possible. That's all we can give them." Above them, the Endurance shined like a quiet guard. It would stay for a while, not to watch, not to threaten, but to remind. The galaxy was no longer silent from fear. It was silent from thought, from hope, from the chance of something better. And as the first alien child smiled at a human for the first time, the stars seemed a little brighter. Peace was not easy, but it had finally begun.